even with my business, when I wanted to start, it's my wife that said to me, listen, stop doing all these waiting for churches to invite you. Set up your own company and just go online and just give talks. The majority of us are poor. So it was almost embarrassing. Like, if you know, like when you go and get your dinner, if you wasn't on free school meals, man will look at you like, rah, growing up there, you don't believe that you can really do anything. And then I got made redundant for the third time. I just like, wow, you know what? Something has to change. I can't keep going back to these people. I can't rely on them to feed my family. You're not defined by where you come from. Yeah. And I think that's a big message that I always want to tell people. Like things happen and it might be negative, but your story's not written. Like that's not the end. Like for me, everything is motivation. When we want to talk about real wealth and really go from, earning hundreds of thousands to millions.
Welcome to the Takeoff Experience, where I sit down with highly driven people to talk about their journey, their failures, and their successes. If you want to take off in your career, your business, your finances, or your mindset, then this podcast is for you. This episode is sponsored by Money Hub, a secure money management app that helps you to manage your money with ease. The Money Hub app provides you with a single view of all your accounts by letting you connect your bank accounts, your savings accounts, investment accounts, your credit cards, all in one place. To help with your money goals, Money Hub has features that allows you to track your incomings versus your outgoings every single month, and also allows you to set and track your spending budgets every single month too. It's a fantastic app, right? Well, you can download the Money Hub app for free by tapping the link in my description. You can use the Money Hub app free for 6 months with no auto renewal. And if you really like the app, then you can continue using it for only £1.49 per month. It's a deal of the century, right? Well, make sure to go and download the app right now. Enjoy the rest of the episode. Welcome back to the Takeoff Experience. We have a special guest in the building, E-Man. How are you doing today, bro?
Hi, brother Ato. I'm good, man. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. I'm really looking forward to this conversation. It's been one that I've been looking forward to for a long time. You've been on my list for time.
But I got this question I've been wanting to ask you, man.
Yeah.
How's married life?
How's married life? You know what? No one's ever asked you that. It's great. It's great. I'm actually going on my honeymoon later on this week.
Yeah, and
I'm looking forward to it.
Bruv, I tell people the best investment, man. The best investment I ever did was marrying my wife. Best contract, best agreement I ever signed. Anything was marrying my wife, man. Like my whole wealth, everything that people see me doing now, it's because of the stability that I have at home, man. So trust me, enjoy it, man.
That's amazing, bro. And you know what's crazy? I actually never really, we covered relationship, but not marriage in that depth. But you know what? It's funny that you say that it has that impact, because I feel like it has that impact. What do they say? What's that saying that they say about peace at home or something like that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It does help a lot, right? At the end of the day.
I'm telling you, like, and this is why I always tell my wife, like she's got to be my peace. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's so much stress outside. There's so much stress. Like, we got to be each other's peace. Like, so I like, she can't finish work and obviously 4 kids is a lot. But to know that when we come together, it's peace. I'm trying to make sure, and I think sometimes you don't realize how selfish you are when you're single. Do you know what I mean? Because you're only worrying about yourself, not in a bad way, but you just got to worry about you. Like, I have to think about her and what's going on for her, and she vice versa. I can't say I love my wife and then I only think about myself.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? And I can't say I love my kids and I don't think about the person who spends more time with them. Because I always got to think, what energy I want in my kids. If I want my kids to have positive energy, I want them to feel safe, I want them to feel secure, I want them to feel loved, then I have to make sure my wife feels all those things 100%. So she can reciprocate that, all that energy into them. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
So it's vital, but also just as a man, like, to know that I'm seeing my kids grow. I know what I'm doing for them. I'm seeing my wife develop and grow and build and start to, go towards her dreams and her goals. And I'm seeing what we're building. That gives you a confidence that when you're in a boardroom, I'm like, if I can build a whole family, what can I do? What can I work on BBC or IT? What is this? This is light work. Like, we are building a dynasty at home. Do you know what I mean? So it's wonderful. Like, the world can be a stressful place, but my home is a place of peace, and I love that.
I love that, and I can. You know what I like about you a lot is that you share all of this on your social media. A lot of people hide, but you don't. You don't hide it. You show your family, and I really respect that, because at the end of the day, like you said, they help you. Right. In get to where you've got to, right? And it's funny that you say that, because actually any decisions now, like say I wanted to leave work, I can't even be like, I have to think, okay, if I'm leaving work, how's the mortgage getting paid? You know what I mean? Like, okay, what's it going to do for her financially, kind of thing. Like you can't do these things on your own, really. Do you know what I mean? It's like two of you kind of have to make that decision together. So yeah, man, it's good. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot. Ask me in a year's time. No, I'm kidding. Nah, it's good. I'm enjoying it, man. It's been, for me, it's been a blessing, to be honest. And I feel like right now as well, I'm only just getting better and better as a person. Yeah. So yeah, she's making me the better version of myself, to be honest. Right? I
always tell people, there's nothing I can give my wife and it doesn't come back better.
Yeah.
Like she just knows how to multiply, how to increase, how to sharpen, how to shape. So for me, knowing that you have that in your corner, it just gives you the confidence to go. Like, like sometimes you might feel like even with my business, when I wanted to start, it's my wife that said to me, listen, stop doing all these waiting for churches to invite you. Set up your own company and just go online and just give talks. Okay. And I was like, can I do it? She said, yes. I said, what? If you, it's that simple. If my wife says I can do it, I can do it. Like, I know that's the confidence. And we just set up the business and we started and we've been running with it ever since. Do you know what I mean? Literally because she was just like, let's stop waiting. Like, that's the confidence, you know what I mean? Like, that you have, because you've got that person who's got your back, who's got your best interests at heart. So for me, it's like, now that I'm winning, people are like, oh, man, you don't really spend money. I'm not really a flashy guy, to be honest. Like, money, I sit down with really rich people, like really like stupid money, like, and a lot of the times it's nothing but problem. Money can never be my main motivator. Do you know what I mean? I just wake up trying to help people and the money comes. Yeah. But in regards to my wife, like, I will spoil her and I won't hesitate.
You gotta do it.
If I see black, I always get her. She's really close to her younger sister. So I always speak to her younger sister. Oh, what are you lot talking about? Oh, she just like, send me over. She'll say, oh, like this bag, that bag. But I'll buy it. No, I won't even blink. I can pay.
Love that.
I can pay whatever on the bag for my wife.
I love that.
Like, my wife this money don't exist without her. You understand? So
100%. And if it's not for her, who's it for? Right?
It's just a repayment. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, I know that the reality is that with the work that I do, I'm so out here for the people that I can't always be at home. Like, my job doesn't work. Me being in my yard 24/7 or even, doing 9 to 5 and then going home. Like, there's no such thing. Like, I have to commit. I have to be around. I have to travel. Do you know what I mean? And so forth. So for me, these things are just little items of showing of appreciation. Do you know what I mean? If I can buy you something that can show you, okay, I appreciate you, and then obviously we can spend time and so forth when I'm around. But it's always good to give you the bigger things and let you know. So yeah, man, we're enjoying.
I love that, man. I love that. Look, I'm gonna enjoy this conversation, bro. It's gonna be an epic one. But before we kick things off, I did introduce you, and that's on purpose, right? Because I allowed the guests to introduce themselves. So who is Eman?
You know what? Eman is a husband, father of 4, financial advisor, TV personality, the people's financial advisor, out here trying to make a difference and an impact and leave a legacy. So yeah, that's me, man.
I love that, man. I love that intro, bro. And okay, so where were you born?
Born East London, Tower Hamlets, East London.
Oh, wow. So you're born in East London. All right. But family's from
Nigeria.
Yeah, have you been back Nigeria?
I have, but not for a long time. But I'm going, I'm literally.
Everybody's. It's good. When was there ever a year of Nigeria? Because there's been a year of return for Ghana, but I don't think we've ever had one for Nigeria. I don't know what's going on there.
You know what? I feel like it's coming without the government saying anything. Like, I think we've all seen that this UK.
Yeah.
As we're starting to make more money, we're starting to understand that it's not an environment designed for us to win and us to make money. Like, honestly, I've made like the amount of money that I've made over the last few years. This is money that I dreamed of, and it feels like I still feel like I'm making 50k. Like it doesn't make sense. Like,
the taxes are mad.
Is wild. Yeah. Like, the cost of living is crazy. 4 kids. All of this type of stuff, and it's like, actually, you know what? Like, we need to start going to places. Like, I was speaking to one of my friends the other day, and she was talking about how she worked in Barclays, and she was like, she can never see herself at the top. Do you know what I mean? But crazy. She could go to Nigeria, and now she could see herself being a CEO, being a director in a bank in Nigeria. And it's like, actually, why are we trying to chase this dream here in the UK
Yeah.
that is so difficult. So many things when we can go and make difference and make real change and real difference.
Yeah.
And take all the stuff. Like we have to realize that we're mad ahead. It's almost like a cheat. It's like, you know, Back to the Future when you had the magazine and you read. Like that's what we're literally so far ahead that if we can take the time to go over there and take our investment, our wealth and energy over there, like we know if we put the things in place, we already know what's going to happen because we've seen it happen here.
Yeah.
But we can be involved in it. Imagine if you're involved in putting, you know, 5G throughout internet throughout the country. Imagine if you're involved in electricity. Imagine you could own a petroleum refinery. Like these are things that you can't do here. The systems are already in place. The power has already been set.
Yeah.
But it's not there are opportunities there. So for me it's like here is where we can build our wealth and, you know, get our money. But when we want to talk about real wealth and really go from, you know, earning hundreds of thousands to millions, that's gonna come from back home.
That's true. I completely agree with you. And it's why we should all have open that conversation of what can we actually do there, like to help the country, because there's a lot of poverty that's happening in Nigeria, not just Nigeria, across like Africa, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But you're right. There's so many opportunities. I remember I was speaking to my uncle about Nigeria, and he was like, "Ato, you know, there's no Starbucks there." I was like, "What?" Oh yeah, true. Huh? So, oh yeah, you know there's no laundrette. I was like, what? Are you sure?
Think about it.
I was like, nah, you're joking, right? And I started thinking, I was like, actually, he's right. When I went there, I don't remember seeing any of that.
Think about
so there's all these kind of things that are not there that can be actually, you can build there.
And what we have to understand is that when you build business,
Yeah.
you now give people jobs.
Yeah.
People have jobs, they now have money to spend.
Yeah.
So you create the systems in order for you to win. So the more of us that go over there, build business, we take people out of poverty by giving them a decent wage, giving them an income. We create a middle class so that there's now people who are in poverty but have the opportunity to feel like they can get to, they can change their lives. We have people in the middle class that focus on trying to get to the upper class. And so now that's the money flows. Do you know what I mean? But, and so now we can start to really, like, it doesn't make sense. You have all this wealth, you haven't even got the road. The road is not even smooth for you to drive your car. Like, you got all this wealth, like, but
it's wild,
you're still using generator.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Wild, bro.
It's mad. All these cars, sometimes you're struck you run out of petrol. It's when you think about it,
Doesn't make sense.
like, doesn't make sense. And a lot of the time, like electricity, we supply to other countries. We supply it and they have it constant. Yet us, it's gone every other hour. Anytime it can just disappear, and people just live with that.
Yeah,
it's just like, actually. And then also one of the things is we've got sunlight. So now that we're looking at, you know, solar, so many things is moving solar. So now we start to move, like, as we start to be more greener and want to be more ethical, that's in our benefit because we've got the conditions to take advantage and monetize these things. And especially where other countries don't have it, if you want to look at this whole green campaign, people want to be green. So now it's about, okay, well, my company might be polluting here, but I can now invest in another country and then I can offset. So I can be carbon neutral. That's the big thing, carbon neutral.
That's a really big
Which
thing.
Which basically means I'm still doing my waste, but I'm being green somewhere else. So but we can take advantage of that and help companies and help big businesses in the world become more green and become more carbon neutral. So actually, there are so many opportunities. It's like, why am I sitting here waiting to earn more money just so these men can take 40% more of it?
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
It might keep on increasing. You never know, right?
And then when we think about it, and this is just me, how much of that 40% that these men are taxing us goes back into the communities that we come from? Not really. No. Like, is when you go, like, the playgrounds that we grew up on, when, like, now when I go back, I see them needles, broken glass, the basketball hoops have no rim, like, there's just the backboard there. Man are just shooting on the backboard. There's no hoop. Like, there's no investment in these spaces. You think Rishi's going to bed at sleep at night thinking, oh, how are the young people, how are the young kids in the hood going to play?
He's not
thinking about that. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's on us to really say, what are we going to do different? How can we, as we start to make money, like, as we start to get voices in these spaces, are we channeling it back to the places that we come from? Or are we channeling it to our own goals?
Yeah.
One of the big things for me, like, I got 4 kids. With the kids, you know, the maddest thing with them is the first thing they understand is it's not fair.
Yeah.
My kids understand.
They already understand that.
It's not fair. The first thing, all of them, Daddy, that's not fair. That's not fair. That's not fair. And you know what? What happens is as we get older, we lose that and we do what's best for us.
True.
We replace that's not fair with what's best for us. Now, what's best for you might not even be right. It might not be the right thing to do, but it's the best thing for you. And I think if we start to get back to a world more childlike, where we actually say, let's be fair. What's fair? Like, is it really fair for such few people to make so many decisions and benefit financially off those decisions?
No.
While other people are suffering. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely not.
And so actually for me, it's really important for us to actually say, it's not just about us now earning more and, you know, buying property and investing and so forth. It's also about us saying, now that we've got a voice, now we've got money, we've got power, what are we doing with it? Yeah. Are we now making a change in the communities we come from? And unfortunately, a lot of the time, what we think is best to do is make money and then we move to other people's communities and start to act like them.
Yeah.
And start
Which is the wrong way.
And start to be embarrassed when you're around your auntie with an accent and be like, oh, you know, like these times auntie sounds like your mum. Like, so do you know what I mean? Yeah. All of a sudden you feel like, oh no, I'm over here now. Do you know what I mean? We don't act like that, or we're more civilized, or we don't act in that way. And it's like, actually, like, this is our culture. This is where we come from. This is how we are. Like, why have we allowed ourselves to look down on ourselves? Yeah. Like, why have we said that the way that they move and the way that they talk and the way that they act is the best way or the right way?
Exactly, yeah.
Just because it works for them. Do you know what I mean? And these are the things that I really want to challenge. Like, my platform is beyond, like, I use the finance thing just to, you know, just because it's what I know. But for me, the mission is so much bigger and greater than that.
Okay, cool, bro. We're gonna delve into that, man. Amazing. See, amazing intro. So okay, so you said that you're from East London, right?
Yeah.
Growing up in the area, do you grow up in East London most of your life?
Yeah, most of my life.
What was it like for you? How did you find growing up in East Tower Hamlets?
It's a weird place. It's a very weird place. So you have to, the majority of people in Tower Hamlets are Bangladeshi.
Okay. So
when people talk about racism, like, it doesn't really exist in that form. White people are almost a minority. Do you know what I mean? So I never got racism from a white person growing up. I never been called a name or did it. In fact, where I grew up, most of the white people acted black, and most of the Bangladeshis kind of liked hip hop music and so.
Okay, that's interesting.
They like their kung fu stuff as well. I don't know what that's all about, and swords and stuff like that. But it was more so culturally. I never felt out of place. I never felt like that. But I feel like also the majority of us are poor, so it was almost embarrassing. Like, if you know, like when you go and get your dinner, if you wasn't on free school meals, man will look at you like, "Right, what's wrong with you?"
So what if you actually had money to?
If you actually had money, if you couldn't, if you were,
you felt embarrassed about that.
You was embarrassed.
Wow.
Because now people are gonna take the mick out of you. Oh, you're rich, yeah. Oh, you're doing what?
Fair enough.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, give me a $5. Man will start taking your money.
Oh my God.
You see what I'm saying? Because man ain't got nothing.
That's
you know what I mean?
Crazy.
So you've now put yourself different. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it was a very hard upbringing. I went to a boys' school, Bow Boys, probably one of the worst schools in the borough. Like, and I was just encouraged to play sport. Do you know what I mean? If you're good at sport, play sport. And we used to miss a lot of lessons playing sport. Like, do you know what I mean? Because you have to travel to other schools, and because our gym, unfortunately, our basketball gym wasn't big enough for regulation. Okay. Do you know what I mean? So we couldn't actually play matches at our home matches at our school because the gym wasn't actually.
So you had to play at other schools.
So we had to play at other schools, and then we had to hire a gym when we had to play at home.
That's crazy.
So we'd always have to travel out all the time. So we'd miss lessons and stuff like that. But I always remember when we missed lessons, nobody would say, "Oh, you're missing a lesson. Let me tell you what you missed." No, you're just like,
it's kind of left to your own devices.
It is what it is. Like,
wow.
You know what I mean, because
that's wild.
I mean, the people in the bottom two sets of my school, they didn't do games. You know, like, you go games, Pete, like, they didn't do games. When we get to games, them man were doing bricklaying and plumbing and all of those types of courses, because they were like, you lot are not going to go college, or so let's learn.
So you're already like, basically, you're doomed in life. That's it.
Done.
At that young age.
Like, that young age, you just know, like, it's just you learn early on, growing up in them types of environment, nobody's coming to save you.
Wow.
Nobody's coming to save you. Like, you every day you leave your house, it's a battle. Like, you leave your house, you get on a bus, you could just bump into the wrong school uniform. It could be on site.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You get off that bus. I used to take 2 buses, get off that bus, get on the next bus, it could be a problem. Like, anywhere you go, at any given time. And remember, a lot of the time, somebody might have a beef with someone from your school. It's not even nothing to do with you, but you're wearing the uniform. So now they're just gonna beat you up, and they will beat you and just tell you, tell my man that this is a message from like.
That's toxic, man.
It's a mad environment.
Yeah.
Nobody come to save you.
Yeah.
And so it's one of them things you just gotta learn. You just gotta learn the codes. You just got like I remember even recently I was on a bus and I was sitting down. I sat by the window. I was looking as people are coming on. I had to catch myself. Even I'm in Bromley, bruv. Bruv, no one's getting on this bus. Like, nobody's getting on this. But you know, like, these things are programmed from so
They are programmed.
long.
When you said
like,
that, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, yeah, I understand that.
Man's always got on there, look, because you gotta make decisions. Like, you can't get caught slipping.
Yeah.
You get caught slipping, you might lose, like, lose your stuff.
That's
man
crazy.
will take your stuff, like, straight. Not even, and it's not even like man don't like you. It's nothing to do with.
It's nothing to do with
it's
you.
not
really.
personal.
It's not personal, yeah.
It's just, I gotta survive.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
That's
like,
he said that, I was like, oh my God.
Think about that. These
brings back memories.
And so I think to myself, I just want to set my kids, I don't want them to see this type of stuff. Like.
Yeah.
So that's why we moved house and we moved out of the area, because it's like, I want my kids to keep the naivety of youth.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Like, to believe that they can be anything and they can do anything. I feel like growing up in places like Tower Hamlets and, you know, Hackney, Newham, these are all the local boroughs next to us. Growing up there, you don't believe that you can really do anything.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, you
100%.
just feel like society's against you.
Yeah.
Most of your man them are going to go down the drug route because they're not listening to school and so forth. So they're going to drop out. They're going to be on the roads. Now it's like, do you want to be on there? Do you want to join that? I'm very lucky. Like, my mum is very, very, very af.
Okay.
Very af.
Yeah.
And she's not trying to hide it.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So a lot of the time, my mum will come to my school, you know, like you don't want to go to school because it's your birthday, you're gonna get beats and stuff. My mum will come to my school. My mum will all the young people around my area, they knew my mum's
okay.
So imagine like there'll be fight after school. They'll be like, "E-man, go home. Just go home because we don't even want your mum like to come for any of us." Do you know what I mean? I used to have a guy called Wesley that lived right next to my house, and he always used to be like, "E-man, just go. Don't worry about all this." Like, because obviously if you didn't stay and fight, you were man would
they'll see you comfy.
Man would comfy like, bro, you just left her. But they always was like, "Hey man, like we know you, your mum." Luckily, I had to pick up my sisters after school.
Okay,
so I had responsibility. So these man,
so that kind of like already kind of put you on a different path.
That put me on a different path. So these man just left, man. Like, I played sport, so I knew I played sport for my year and the year above.
Okay,
so I knew the olders as well. So it was calm, and then I had teachers that really liked, man. So I was very, very fortunate in the sense of sport kind of helped me. People just say, look, he's gonna do something sport wise, so let's just leave him, because Ashley Cole went to my school.
Oh really?
And obviously to play for Arsenal in England and have a great career. So people knew that there's a potential that, you know, people from our school can go on to become big things.
In sports,
in sports. So because I was good at sport, they were just like, leave him. And so that's what kind of gave me a blight. But it was very strict.
Okay.
My parents, like,
they were very, very strict,
Very strict.
But do you looking back on it now, do you think that was kind of needed in that kind of environment, right?
Yeah, very needed, man. Yeah. Thank God. I think a lot of my other friends, their parents are very relaxed. And even if they didn't want to be relaxed, they're working multiple jobs. Like my mum purposely chose to do a job where she could, like, she worked as a dinner lady in a school so that she could be at her finish at the same time we finished, so she could be home. Do you know what I mean?
Smart, man.
But a lot of my friends, their parents went at home. They'd finish work at 5 and potentially have to go and do a cleaning job or other types of work. And I respect what they hustle, but it just meant that they were being raised by the roads. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of the time, just walking the streets. If you just walk the streets for long enough, you're gonna find trouble.
That's
do you know what I mean?
Wow.
The trouble will find you. Do you know what I mean? And it's been the case. And you know, I've bumped into people that I grew up with, and it's just like,
the difference is stark, isn't it? Like, what happened? Like, mad.
Some of the man that was real bad, gangster, they've now turned their life around.
Okay, I love to hear that.
They're out here, you know, teaching kids about not to, like, what it's like to go to prison and not to do stuff and stuff like that, which is amazing. Some of the other guys are still chasing the same girls they were chasing when we was in school, and I'm like, bruv, you're not awake. Are you all right? Like, you just got hella kids. You're not. And you're not thinking about how you're gonna change your life. You're still just stuck in this cycle. Yeah. And other people just defied the odds and just did really well. So you know, it makes you realize that your background and you're not defined by where you come from. Yeah. And I think that's a big message that I always want to tell people. Like, don't look at your situation and say, oh, because nobody's done it from where I've come from, or I don't know anyone that's done it from where I come from. It's not possible. For a lot of us, we're going to have to be the first to do certain things.
100%.
And then that's why I'm so on making sure when we do it, we bring others along so people know it's possible.
It's important, man. And, I love that story, man. That's amazing, Coming from where you come from to get to where you've got to is crazy. So I was wondering, like, okay, so you went to school. Did you end up college, uni? Did you go down that route as well? Okay, why did you decide to leave the sports thing then?
Okay, so basically did the sports thing. So I played rugby, but rugby was very much, I played for Middlesex.
Okay.
So it was very much far out, a lot of traveling. My parents, they tell you, they didn't come all the way from Africa to let you play a game. Do you know?
100%.
They didn't come for you to be playing game.
They
don't want to hear it. So it was like, they weren't supporting. So I had other people's parents that used to drive me, pick me up, drop me, because I was really good. Like, like, you want your kid to be good, but your kid's not that good. But your kid's friend is really good.
Yeah.
Like, that was like, so they bought me the right boots and the right clothes and take me places and, let me play and I'll be good. So that was it. But rugby was a bit too rough, a bit too dirty. So, and it was far out, and at that time it was very much a white sport. It still is quite a middle class sport. So you're doing it, but you're not fighting. There's no one around you. Do you know what I mean? And so I kind of left that alone. Then I played basketball.
Okay.
So I played basketball all the way up to uni level, and so I was captain of my basketball team at my university. Done all that. We done really well, got and so forth. But then eventually, when I finished uni, I started working, and it just was, the work thing just made more sense.
Yeah. What did you decide to study at uni?
Accounting and finance.
Why did you?
My dad's an accountant.
Okay, so the inspiration was from the pops. Okay.
The inspiration or the demand?
The demand.
The demand is that I wanted to do marketing, and he was like, "You're never gonna get a job doing marketing. Go and do accounts."
It's so funny, I've had so many of these conversations about parents, right?
Yeah.
And now, I guess, and again, I guess you probably realize it as well. For them, safety, right?
Safety.
It's all about safety for them, right? That's why they were spitting in your ears, safety. Marketing is, I would argue, is a safe job now.
Yeah, now.
But maybe then, maybe it wasn't.
No, but I think also, none of your friends are doing it.
Yeah.
So remember, at that time, and this is why I always tell people, like, you have to understand, when our parents are giving us advice, they're giving us advice based on their situation.
Yeah. 100%.
So they are experiencing extreme racism at that time. Yeah. But they were still able to get jobs.
Yeah.
So to them, these are the only jobs that they think that the white people are going to let them have. So when you have a kid, you're going to tell a kid to go and get a job that white people will let you have.
Yeah.
So you going to do marketing, and I ain't got no friends doing marketing.
Yeah.
It don't make no sense.
Yeah.
But I've had friends that have tried to get into marketing and they haven't got in. So now for me, I believe this is not a job that they want you to have.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's like, we have to look at the advice that they give, and also the environments they're in.
Yeah.
So the reason they're looking for safety is because they never had security.
Yeah.
Some of them never had stay. Never had you didn't even have stay.
Yeah.
At any moment in time, someone could come knock on your door and put you on a plane and you're gone.
You're out. Yeah.
Do you understand? So you're keeping your voice low.
Yeah.
You're not trying to bring any attention to yourself because you're just trying to get stay. We have a lot more security because we are citizens.
Yeah.
We were born here.
Yeah.
We are citizens. We have rights.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They do that at any given time. They could just be thrown in the back of a plane like cargo and they're gone.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you're talking about the advice that they're gonna give, it's gonna come from a place of they feel they're in danger.
Yeah.
They're gonna look for the safest route.
Yeah.
Like we know that we're secure.
Yeah.
So now we can now take risks.
We can take risks. Yeah. That's completely agree, man. It's so mad to think about it. So okay, so you decided to do accounting and finance.
Yeah.
Was like what was your first role that you did like after that?
Yeah, so basically I did accounting and finance. And then I worked in Marks and Spencer's while I was doing my degree.
I'll swear.
So you did that for a year, my first year at uni. And then second year I got a job at Barclays as a cashier.
Okay.
So I was working as a cashier in Barclays. Then I did really well as a cashier in Barclays. So when I finished uni, they were like, "What job do you want?" I was like, "Financial advisor." I became the youngest financial advisor in Barclays in the country.
Wow. Is that happened?
22, youngest financial advisor in Barclays
crazy.
in the country. Like at that time, I was the youngest one. And
wow.
And yeah, so it was literally, I realized quite early on that I'm at uni for my parents. I'm not at uni for me.
Mm.
If I should have done an apprenticeship. I really should have done an
Okay.
apprenticeship because I'm much more practical than I am sitting down theory knowledge. And so, do you know what I mean? So I should have done an apprenticeship or gone on a mentorship course or something like that. Just worked within a company and just learn on the job. I would have done much better than what I did in uni. But obviously, my parents have been talking about uni since I was in primary school.
Yeah.
So I thought you went from primary school to uni the way these lot was talking about uni. Do you know what I mean? So I didn't think I had no chance. I had to go to uni. So I went to uni, done that, but then I realized that I might not get on a grad scheme because 2-1 was wild for me. That was like, I was never studying that much. I was chasing gal and doing nonsense. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it was like, okay, cool. What can I do? Let me go and get in there. Let me get the practical knowledge. And that's
what helped you. Yeah, helped you do it. So, and that's great, right?
Yeah. So when all my friends are going to do grad schemes and begging for that, 18K or 19K. I'm straight on. I'm straight on full salary. Do you know what I mean? Bonuses, company car, everything. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
So
all because you did that as a part-time job, then worked your way up.
Exactly.
That's smart, man.
So yeah,
that's crazy. And how long did you stay in Barclays for?
So I started Barclays when I was 19.
Okay.
I think I left when I was around 24, 25.
Okay, cool. And did you decide to stay in financial advising?
Yes, I left there, went to Halifax. From Halifax, I went to HSBC, then that West.
Pretty much all the banks.
All the banks.
Why did you decide to do that?
You know what it was is that went to the banks and a lot of at that time banks were pulling out of financial advice.
Okay.
So the government brought in some new regulation, the regulator, FCA, brought in some new regulation called RDR, Retail Distribution Review, which basically meant that banks, we couldn't get commission. So basically financial advisors, we used to get paid commission. So for the public, it felt like you were getting advice for free. But the reality was there was loads of charges and costs built up in your investments. And people are getting paid long after they gave you advice. So imagine I met you now. I gave you advice now. As long as, my name is on your thing, I'm still getting paid.
That's crazy.
Even if we never talk ever again.
That's wild.
And so advisors would be getting paid from thousands of clients and they're only ever speaking to a couple hundred. Do you know what I mean? And so they were like, this is wrong. Like, so they switched off all the commission.
Okay.
And said, if you wanna be able to get paid, you have to get the client to sign an agreement to say, I'm agreeing to pay you a fee, rather than you getting commission directly from the provider.
Yeah. Okay.
That's not profitable.
Yeah, okay. That wasn't profitable.
That wasn't profitable.
Because you're having to keep on signing people and people are like, nah, what?
And people are not used to paying upfront fees.
Yeah.
They used to just signing up and then, you know what I mean?
On the back
so
end,
so it's all on the back end, exactly. Yeah. So because of that, banks felt like it wasn't going to work for them to do it to mass market.
Yeah.
They're more going to work on the high net worth. So banks pulled out. So Barclays pulled out, then Halifax, then, do you know what I mean? So everywhere I went, basically.
Okay. It's just like dominoes.
Domino effect.
That's
you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? You're just basically getting there and then you're realizing that they're not going to help you pay for the qualification, or they're not looking like they're going to carry on offering advice and so forth. And so, you just had to keep moving.
Okay. Wow. That's crazy. Okay. So, obviously you still continue doing it. Did you end up going into the high end part of it?
So then from there, from there, I went to St. James's Place.
Okay. Oh yeah. That's a big one.
That's a big one. So that's a very private wealth type thing. Used that. Then I went into some other wealth brokers. But you know what? One of the things I realized is that I didn't belong, fam.
Okay.
You got to
talk to us about that.
Yeah. It was very painful. It was a very painful time. So, but it was necessary for me to be where I am today. But it was a case of I would go to companies and they would bring man in and be like, look, we've got a black financial advisor. Look, we're all about change and equality, and do you know what I mean? We're open, and but the reality is that it's just a tick box exercise.
Okay. And
you get in there and they'd make you feel like, oh, you don't know what you're doing, or you're not doing it right. When I worked at Barclays, when I worked in the banks are diverse. Like you've got different genders, you've got different sexual orientation, you've got different races, you've got different ages. Like you've got a mix of everything in a branch. You know what I mean? Whereas now you're working for a private firm. Yeah, they've just got their clients and they know the type of client that they target. And the type of client they target typically is similar to the owner of the firm.
Right, okay.
So you got, a rich like a rich or wealthy advisor who's going to go and find other clients that are similar to them, who they can relate to and so forth. And then now you come in younger, from a different background, speak different, and they make you feel like, oh, you're not professional enough.
Really?
Oh no, clients want to work with you because the way you talk, or the way you look, or the way you dress, or how you sound, or oh, what word was that you're saying? Like, you got a bit of an accent. Do you know what I mean? Type thing. And it was like, actually, people by people, and I've never had an issue when I was working in the banks and so forth. So why do you feel like this is an issue? And people, one thing I realized is that people project.
Yeah.
People project their insecurities and the things that onto you. Yeah. And make it act like it's fact when really it's their own projection.
It's just an opinion at the end of the day, right?
It's their opinion.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was, again, get made redundant, and then I got made redundant for the third time. I was just like, wow, you know what? Something has to change. I can't keep going back to these people. I can't rely on them to feed my family. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
That's got to be on me. And so I've got to make a change. And so that really pushed me to start my own course and go on my own journey of building up my own network and my own value to people and doing things my way.
Yeah.
And the maddest part now is that now they tell people I used to work there.
I knew you were gonna come and say that. It's right. It's crazy that they put you as their alumni. Yeah, E-Man Effect. Yeah, it was one of ours.
Exactly, and it's just
that's
like,
shameful, man.
It's crazy. When I was there, you was treating me anyhow.
Yeah.
When I told you I'm going, even when I left and I was like, yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. You're like, we want to give financial advice to poor people.
Yeah.
Not a great business model.
Yeah.
Like, who's gonna pay you? They can't pay you. You ain't got no money.
Yeah.
Now you're on national TV giving advice to millions across. Now you're doing big campaigns. Now these companies realize, listen, people don't want to hear from you as a company. We don't trust you.
Yeah.
But we trust E-Man. So now companies have to pay me to say the messages.
Exactly.
In my tone now.
Exactly.
Not even like I'm trying to say it like them. They needed to say it in my tone, the way I say it, because I get the engagement.
Yeah. It's so funny because that's the thing. Like, I feel like there's so many like layers to it. Like, one, there's an element of, I feel like you should just respect everybody.
Exactly.
Right? Everybody has their own gift. Everybody has their own talent, right? It shouldn't take for you to be like, okay, now E-Man's on TV, now we're going to respect him.
Exactly.
Now we see he has value. I think that's a terrible way to look at things, right? And, if they did it the other way, I'm sure that you would have been bigging them up, right? They could have been looked at as an organization that's a bit more down to earth.
Exactly.
But now they're like every other organization.
Yeah.
Kind of faceless, type of boring, old school that nobody really wants to, kind of associate with. So,
and that's why I don't really mention them. Like, I always talk about Barclays. People feel like, oh, you always talk about Barclays.
Yeah.
Because Barclays is where I learned everything. Barclays gave me my opportunity. They taught me from nothing. And brought man up. So I'll always give them the respect. Like they gave man a platform, an opportunity. They taught man, they gave man the knowledge, they gave man the experience, and the opportunity to change my life. Do you know what I mean? So I always talk positive about Barclays. But even Barclays, when I left, nobody cried. Nobody cried to say, "Oh, E-Man's leaving. How will we cope?" My job was on the internet. Do you know what I mean?
Fair, you see, this is another thing, yeah.
But now, I'm working with them. I've done shows for them and stuff like that. And it's like, last year, I did a show called Money in Your Mind on YouTube. And there was a clip of me, I did something with a lawnmower. But basically, that clip was in every branch in Barclays in the country that had, they've done the refit with a TV screen. Any branch in the country that had a TV screen,
that's wild, that
was playing, and that was on repeat. Like every 4 or 5 minutes, that clip would come on loop, and it's just like, I used to be a cashier.
Yeah,
I was here. Do you know what I mean? And now, like sometimes your story, like things happen and it might be negative, but your story's not written. Like that's not the end. Like, for me, everything is motivation. Like, give me the job, I'm motivated. Don't give me the job, I'm motivated.
100%. Yeah.
Support me, I'm motivated. Don't support me, I'm motivated. I take everything as motivation.
I love that.
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter what happens. Like, I'm motivated to believe in me, I'm motivated. Don't believe in me, you're giving me more fuel to the fire to prove you wrong. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think more of us need to stop taking other people's words. It's almost like we seek validation from people. Like, I believe in God, and I know God has a plan for me, and so everything else I know everything else is valid because I know my heart and I know the mission that I'm trying to achieve. So it doesn't matter if someone believes in me today. Remember, it's my vision. Like, and if it's my vision, why do we always expect other people to see 100%. What was meant for our eyes?
Yeah, that's true.
If the vision's mine and I'm the one that's meant to complete it, I'm the one that's meant to see it, why do I only want to do it when everybody else can see it?
Yeah.
They can't see it. They're going to see it later.
Yeah.
Because it's your vision. Do you know what I mean? Their eyes are focused on their vision. So it's really important that you don't seek validation or don't move because other people say, oh, I don't think that's going to work.
Yeah.
Like if it's your vision and you believe in it and you've got that conviction, you go and achieve it.
Yeah. 100%, bro. 100%. And so, okay. So after you got made redundant.
Yeah.
What was the plan for you at that point? Was it like, okay, I'm going to go back into work or I'm just going to do something else? Like what was the thinking?
It was literally, I never want to see employment ever again.
Okay. I can understand that. If it happened three times.
3 times.
I mean, even getting to the second time, boy, let me be real. I don't know how you did it, but I think most people be like, yeah, I'm done. But props to you for getting to the third time.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, what was at that point? What were you thinking? Okay, cool. I'm not going back into employment.
Not going back.
What was the plan?
So then the plan was basically that luckily in the last company that made me redundant, there was an amazing woman, head of HR called Rachel. And she basically made sure I got the most amount of redundancy possible.
Okay.
So the good thing for me is that I've always kept my costs low. So it doesn't matter how much money I make. I always keep my costs to how much I need.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? I don't allow myself to start lifestyle creep, because what happens is that then when your money for whatever reason goes below what you're used to, all of a sudden you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So I kept my costs low. So I knew that I had like 8 to 9 months worth of, with the redundancy and my savings, 8 to 9 months before I needed to go back to work. I said, right, if I can do this for them, what can I do for myself? So then I just went on social media. Before I was posting once a day, I was posting 2 or 3 times a day. I was doing lives. So now, lives are quite normal. Like, I was one of the first to do lives and interviews on Instagram Live. So I just bring on a guest and then just do lives with them and so forth, and interview them and talk about the financial lessons learned on their journey, and just find successful people and give them a platform and so forth. So we used to do lives. Then I would do events, talks on my platform, talks on other people's platforms, talks at churches. I wasn't even looking for money. It's all exposure, building my craft. But I did so much content. I was so present that one of my friends, Bola Soul, she's financial influencer as well. She got approached by a TV company.
Okay.
And at the end of her kind of audition, they were like, do you know anyone else that does this finance thing? Like, oh, you need to speak to my bro, E-Man. So she said, I gave them your number. She calls me, I gave your number to some people at Channel 4. Okay. I'm not sure if they're going to call or not, but I gave them your details. Next day they called, man. And I did the audition and then got through, and then I got on a show.
You had to do audition for it? That's so interesting.
I had to do audition with the producer, audition with the senior executives.
Wow.
I had to do then we had to do a chemistry audition in an actual space where we brought all of us in to mingle, talk with one another, and then like act stuff out. And then I got one of the spots and so forth. And then basically by November, so that was in 2019. So March 2019 is when I got made redundant, and I said I'm not going back. By November, I had my first TV show on Channel 4.
Wow, that's insane.
Mad.
That's crazy.
Mad. And then what happens is this is where I talk about you got to do the work and the opportunities will come. So that comes out in November. Then we have lockdown in March.
Yeah.
Then after lockdown, so when lockdown happens, they're saying, well, we need to talk about finances. Everyone's worried about money and finances and they don't know what to do. Then George Floyd happens. Then they're like, we've got to get black people everywhere now. So we've got to get them on the TV.
100%.
So now they're like, we need to talk about finance, but we need a black person. Hello? I'm here. Like, I've just done a show.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And so basically, I have not stopped working since.
Okay, since then.
So I did the show in November.
Wow.
January come, the show ran from November to December. Then January came, was quiet. Then March, boom.
Just boom. Just blew out there.
Boom.
Yeah.
Show after TV, after this, after that. And it's just we're 2023 now. I'm already booked out for the rest of this. I'm already looking to 2024. Like,
that's wild.
yeah. Like,
Okay, let me ask you this. Why do you think, of course those things happen, but I think there's is more than that, right? Of course, BLM happened and lockdown. But why do you think that you've managed to succeed in that way? Like, what do you think the reasons are?
You know what it is? And I always tell people this. I am my authentic self. I think one of the problems with social media is that we see somebody else doing something well and we take it and lose ourselves becoming what we think is going to be successful.
Yeah.
But the problem is that person's successful because they're being themselves. And so what you need to do is take inspiration. How can I improve? And the things I can, I do that all the time. But I never ever lose myself trying to be somebody else, because then I'm not. Then I'm just a B-Tech version of them. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Because you can never be a better version of somebody else. Like, they know who they are. Do you know what I mean? They're being themselves all the time. You're only trying to be like them based on the things that you see. They are them every single day. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it's like being my authentic self means that I took all the experiences, what it's like to come from the hood, what it's like, but you know what? Not just that what it's like to come from the hood, but the joy, the banter, the roasting, man. Man, I roast man all the time. Like these are things that we do in the playground, and we just laugh, and man, I just banter. All of that, take all of that, all the joy, and then all the pain, all the struggle, all the pain, all the issues, all the things that we go through. That is a lived experience that I've gone through. Then I take my Nigerian heritage. I take, what it's like, the fact that I grew up in church and all of that, and then I take it, add it to finance. There's no one, when I started, there was no one in finance talking the way I talked.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? And
I don't think there's anyone still talking the way you talk now.
But I think there are more people that have come from other backgrounds. Talking about finance. Yeah. Like when I was on, it was literally Martin Lewis, and then
that was it. Like, that was it. He just had a monopoly. That was it. There was not even another of him. There was not even another him. It was just, that was it.
Every channel.
Every
channel. Just use the one guy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Can you imagine?
And I rate him. I rate him a lot, like what he's been able to do and so forth. But it was like, actually, this is my lived experience.
Yeah.
Like, how do I share this? How do I get this out there? And I brought it to finance, and I can proudly say that I'm one of the few people that helped make finance fun.
Yeah,
100%. It was not entertaining.
100%.
Finance was one of the subjects that was boring. It was so boring. It was boring, never ever thought of as something that could be entertaining.
Yeah.
And then we started doing it, and it's like, oh no, this is cool. Now young people dig this.
Yeah.
Like, actually, we want to hear about this. Like, we get this. Like, and then so now corporates are like, oh, we can finally talk about money in a cool way. And so it's like, actually, and then we realize it's actually a life skill. I always tell people, it doesn't matter what's happening. We always need finance.
100%.
When people are doing well and they're doing well with their money, they need a financial advisor. They need finance. They need to understand how to be better with their money, how to make their money work for them. When people are struggling, they need help with their finance and how to, it doesn't matter either way. Like, people, it's something evergreen. People always need it. And so it's actually a life skill. And so now it's about, for me, the campaign is, how do I make sure that generation that's coming now, that's in primary school, secondary school now, they grow up with me?
Yeah. That's 100%. And I think it is about consistency. And actually, my next question is, how did you back then, when you were going out on your own, when there was nobody else doing it, how did you manage to stay consistent at that point? Because it's not easy, right? Going out and just be like, okay, cool, I'm just going to start doing content. Is it even getting any reception, right? Like, am I going to keep or not?
Bruv, when I tell you, man started posting and you'll spend time thinking, no, this is hard. When you tell you, no, this is hard. These men are going to go mad for this. You do your content, you know what I mean? Take time. Explain it nice, clear, concise. You post it, 5 likes. 3 of them man live in my yard. Yeah. Do you know? My wife got 2 phones. I like it. My wife got 2 phones. Like, it's like, then you start scrolling and this one's dog is chasing a ball and it's got millions. You're like, what? This is not going to help your life. Yeah. But you understand that people go on social media a lot of the time because they want a break from work. They want to take a break from their everyday. They don't want to go on social media and be told how bad they are with money. So they want to go and be entertained. Do you know what I mean? So it was then a case of like, actually, when I work for these man, I work 9 to 5, right? These man pay me a salary. They tell me, come here at this time. Whether I want to wake up, the alarm has gone off. You know, sometimes you go to bed late and you're like, oh, I've got work in the morning.
Yeah.
The alarm, you close your eyes and the alarm goes off. Like, what? Already?
Already is mad.
It's mad, bro. You got to get up. So I'm like, if I can do that for them, what more can I do for myself? So I was like, I used to say, I woke up for these man. I used to wake up at these man 6:30. I'm gonna wake up for myself for 6. I used to wake, so I set my alarm for 6 bruv, that time, yeah, when I had no job, when I was just working for myself, I had nothing. That first year, 6 o'clock was the latest I wake up. Doesn't matter what time I go to bed, I got to be up by 6 in the morning. I got to get up before everyone else and think about what I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna be effective, how I'm gonna make sure I make this day count.
Yeah.
Like, what am I always used to focus every day. What are my income generating activities? So that was the big thing for me. What am I going to do that's going to generate income? That doesn't mean I'm going to make money today, but I know if I do it, it's going to lead to money coming in.
Yeah,
because I'm working for myself. I need to focus on the income generating activities. And so then it was about with the content. I remember I just got vexed. I used to just post and nobody used to like, and then the comments are just like your sister and your. It's like, guys, where is everybody else? All these people on the internet. Why are they not seeing my content? So one day, yeah, I just got vexed, bro. I just got vexed. I just did a video. I just said, listen, you man out here, you're popping bottles and that, but you live in your mum's house, you share a room with your little brother and he wets the bed. Bruv, if you see the video, just like, I ain't never seen so much comment. My phone was just popping. And I was like, oh, this is what you look like, yeah?
Okay.
When I was giving you pensions and ISAs and inheritance and how to avoid, like, I was getting nothing. This is how you like it. So I just started looking. Then I started looking at the Shade Room, like the Shade Borough, any of these gossip pages, and just looked for any topic that I could relate to finance or money.
Wow.
And just
that's ingenious.
And just started bantering it.
Yeah.
And just started bantering it. And it just blew. It just, because people are already talking about this type of stuff, and I just did content around it. And your content, it made me realize it's not about social media. It's not necessarily a place where it's about educating. It's about being thought provoking. Yeah. So I need to provoke a thought in your mind to make you think, he's got a point. I should do something different. Or like on TikTok, most of the time, man on TikTok, like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, do you know what I mean? But I've made you have to, for you to take the time to type that, I've hurt you. Yeah. It's hit you in your chest.
It's hurt, yeah.
Because you could have just scrolled. 100%. You stopped to write.
100%.
I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
Because you stopping to write something, comment, whether good or bad, means that the algorithm is going to show it to more people. Yeah. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And so I understood that it's about actually making content that's shareable. That people, have you seen this? And then once people start sharing it, then what then happens is when I then say there's an event going on, people say, right, if he can do this in a 30-second reel, what can he do in a 2-hour event? Yeah. So now they buy tickets to come to the event. Okay. Then you give then I started having people buy. They would come to the event and they will buy 5 tickets for their friends. Okay. So their friends had no excuse not to turn up. And this is why it's important, like, to know your audience. My audience is mainly black women. Yeah. When I do my events, 90% of my event is black women. Okay. And so they will come, and then what they would then do, they would love it. They'd buy 2 tickets, 3 tickets for their friends. Some of them will come back. Like, no, you got to come. So they will come back with their friend because their friend will want to go and come back. I'm like, right, you was here the last event, because I used to do events every other month. It wasn't until, and that's how I used to make money. Every other month, I'd do an event every other month, do content, event every other month. People buy tickets for the event. At the event, then people would want one-to-ones. They pay for one-to-ones. And that's how I was making my money, just doing events. Then lockdown.
Wow. That's insane. And that's, you're grinding,
I was grinding, bruv.
That's crazy.
Every other month doing an event. I worked at the Africa Centre, so they gave me the space really cheap. So most of the money I was making, I was keeping. And that's how I was feeding my family.
Wow. And do you feel like that helped you build your audience better as well? Yes. Yeah. On the online, even because it was like offline. to help build the online.
That's how it works, and that's where people are like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm posting,
Yeah.
and my numbers are not going up. It
Yeah.
doesn't really work like that.
Yeah.
You post, but the way your numbers are really going to grow is either by doing lives or collaborations with people with bigger audiences and getting their exposure and getting that drip down from them. But the way I remember, I did events where I did a talk at an event, and people would put in their stories, and I would get 200-300 new followers for the over that 24 hours.
Wow.
Because so many people that come to the event would then put it in their stories.
That's insane.
And so what people don't realize is that it doesn't matter if someone's only got 100 followers. Like if people put in their stories, that's 10, 20, 30 people that don't know you that have now gonna hear it, like what they said. You're being co-signed by somebody that they know.
Yeah.
So now they're intrigued. So now they go and click. Then they find your content. That's the biggest thing why you got to be consistent.
Yeah.
Because your content is there forever.
Forever.
Bruv, I've got...
People scroll down.
Every day I see like 30 likes. One person that like they're just going through all the...
binging it.
Just binging it. They're just chilling on your page. Some people tell me I've been on your page for the last 2-3 days to say thank you for all your... I'm like, wow, 3 days. Just going through videos.
That's actually wild. But I love stuff like that, man.
That's what we're doing. So some people I remember every day somebody's finding you for the first time.
For the first time. It's not like it's just undiscovered. That's it.
Undiscovered. They're finding you for the first time. Because even me, sometimes I see people and it's like, they've got 1 million followers. I'm like, I've never heard of you before in my life. Like, so it goes to show how many people there actually are on this planet. Exactly. Do you know what I mean? So you should never assume that people know who you are. Never be afraid to introduce yourself in your video, like, because somebody's finding you for the first time.
100%. That's crazy. So what tips do you have for inspiring content creators? Because you've done extremely well.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is not to focus on the numbers.
Okay.
Because what you have to understand is that once you build an audience, like, so for example, me, I've only got just over 30,000 on Instagram.
That's not just only.
No, but I mean, there are people
that's good, bro.
With way more. But when I speak to some of my friends who have audiences that are maybe 100K, 200K, 300K, what I get paid and what they get paid are completely different.
Okay.
And I get paid a lot more than them. Why? Because what they talk about is generic. So if I'm an advertiser, I'm gonna go to you because you've got a lot of followers, but I'm not gonna know that, okay, the how many of them are gonna be interested in what I have to say. I talk about finance and money every single day. These finance companies know that when they come to my audience is interested. This is what I talk about. I've got my own niche. So it's so much cheaper for them to spend 5, 10, 15K with me to reach this audience. Plus, when they then put spend behind it, they can then reach other audiences and then have the credibility of myself and all the stuff that I've done, compared to the scattergun approach, which is, if you're going to do that, you might as well do it on TV.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I mean?
True, yeah.
So you've got a niche market that you know you're reaching. Plus, they know the conversion rates of how much, if people do convert to the product that they're trying to discuss or they're talking about, how much it makes. So it's about actually, for me, if you're building content, especially if you want to monetize it, make sure you've got a particular audience. So, ones that do well are like mums, for example, when you're doing parents and kids. Does really well because, again, loads of different, you can go from so many different angles and so many different companies are looking to reach that market. So really think about it might start as a passion project and something that you enjoy, but when you want to actually go full time into it, really understand how are you going to monetize your efforts and your time. Because to be honest, with the social media, the first 2 years, I'd say, is to the wind. It's not you're not making dough.
100%.
You're not making dough in the first 2.5 years. That is, you're building an audience. To build an audience, all you're doing is creating value. All you're doing is giving them as much value as possible so they share that value and you build a loyal, if you go on my post, you will see it's the same 300 people that comment on my posts. Yeah. Consistently. There'll be new people, but you've got that loyal people that will just repost you all the time. You want to build that because these are the people, when you do an event, these are the people that are going to turn up. Yeah. These are the people going to tell their friends. These are the people, do you know what I mean? Forget the 35, more time. although it's 30,000, really you're working with probably 10%, probably 3,000.
Yeah.
Is the reality of who's engaging on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's really important that you understand that and you actually feed them, and then understand also, once you build that loyal audience. So this was a mistake I made. I built my loyal audience. I knew if I dropped content, a certain type of content, they would love it, and I would get 10,000 views, 20,000 views, likes, whatever. You don't grow.
Okay.
You see, you spend a lot of time at certain numbers. You won't grow, because what happens is that the algorithm knows who to send your, especially on Instagram.
Yeah.
TikTok is better.
Yeah.
TikTok will send your thing to wherever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Anyone.
Yeah.
New people are finding it all the time.
Yeah.
Instagram is the reason there's a lot less outrage and a lot less negativity is because Instagram knows who's going to like your content.
Okay.
So when you do a particular type of content, it sends it to them. And so what happens is that because it's your growth isn't that much. I've got people that watch my videos that don't follow me because they just go to their For You page and they'll just see it. They don't need to follow, because people are very, they're very, do you know what I mean? Very tight on their follow. Like I was looking at the other day, we do like in a month, we do over 200k impressions every month. Do you know what I mean? And that's not nothing crazy. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, when I think about it, it's like all these people that interact with your posts.
That's a good point,
bruv, but they're not following.
That's a very good point.
So what you have to do is understand that the matrix.
Yeah.
Like for me, I'm on national television. Man, I'm seen by millions of people in the homes of millions of people regularly. But I don't have millions of followers.
Yeah.
But I'm a face that is known.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's why I say don't watch the numbers.
Yeah.
The numbers don't mean anything. I would rather have lower numbers and make a lot of money than have high numbers but no money. Yeah. So know why you're doing it. But the numbers, a lot of them is vanity. It's a vanity matrix. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So it's really important that you focus on the value that you're adding, who you're adding to, build a core audience, continue to look at how you monetize that audience, and then brands will then come in and pay you to be able to speak to your audience.
Fantastic tips, bro. Fantastic. Gems all day, man. Gems all day. So you talked a little bit about TV, right? And you've done a lot of TV. I mean, I see you posting something on TV every week, minimum, once a week, right? And you're doing extremely well with it, right? Is it something that you enjoy doing? Is that where you see more of your career, your business? Is that it's going to be in TV?
No. I don't. I enjoy TV is good in regards to what it represents. So for me, the reason I do TV and like TV is because how many times do we see people like us on that stage as the expert? Yeah. So I understood the power of what I do, because a lot of the time, especially coming from the background that we come from, we tend to be sports people, we tend to be comedians, we tend to be entertainers.
100%, yeah.
Musicians and so forth. And there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, it's that actually I'm the expert. Yeah. Do you know what it's like? Like, imagine going on, I was on Good Morning Britain the other day, and it's like, actually, you're on the whole Good Morning Britain, and they want, like, talking about cost of living crisis, and they want to know what you from a council estate in East London have to tell the nation and what we should do. And you know what? They loved, man. Like, the reaction after I've been on there. I remember they've got so many people, but you're not hearing it like this. You're not hearing it from somebody. Someone can tell you, work hard. I'm telling you, I've been poor. Yeah. I've been broke. I've been there, and I'm not there anymore. It's a different level than someone like that's been middle class their whole life, went to a really good school, then set up a website that helped loads of people, sold it for millions, and now they give it. It's a different energy. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. The energy I'm giving is that it's more than just advice. It's an inspiration. It's like, so that's why I do TV, because I know that there are young people that look at me and say, wow, this brother looks like me, sounds like me. I got an uncle that looks like that. I got my dad looks like that. And it's like, actually, this person is an expert. Yeah. We are asking him for advice. Yeah. As opposed to just entertain us.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's why I do the TV.
Okay.
I think my future probably is going to be more digital.
Okay. That's interesting.
Because I enjoy digital because digital allows you to be more free.
Yeah.
TV
Scalable,
is very,
yeah.
TV is very restrictive.
Okay.
There are very much standards and
that you got to follow. Okay.
So you can't be as, creative as you might want to be.
Yeah.
So I like the digital stuff. And then for me, I want to do stuff in Africa. That's the big. I want to be in Africa. I want to be in the Caribbean. I want to do stuff in the Middle East. So for me, there's a whole world out there.
Yeah.
I just want to start, really conquer here and set foundations here, especially for my kids, so that even when I'm gone, there's property, there's businesses, there's things in place to support them. And then I can then go and do what I need to do.
Okay, that's amazing, man. Congratulations, anyway, on the TV stuff. I put a note there because I was like, I have to say that because I'm really happy about that. And it's funny because I didn't even have to think about that. I was saying, congratulations, because, bruv, representation is key in the media, you know what I mean, from a black perspective. And I like what you said. You're saying it in your way, with your swag, with your personality. You're not trying to be a black person, but conforming. It's not that. We're not doing that. You know what I mean? We're not doing that. We're doing it in our way. So I really, really love that. You also had another big thing. I think you kind of mentioned it a bit. Your book. Yes. You launched your book, yeah?
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration behind, creating it, launching it now?
Yeah. So I think the big thing about the book is that I ran away from the book.
Okay.
From when I've started doing this thing, they've been telling me get a book. Then my sis Bola Soul, she put out a book. Selena, Black Girl Finance. Selena used to come to my events. Like that's how I met Selena. Like when I was doing the thing, and she's done so amazing with Black Girl Finance and so forth. And there's loads of people that I've met on the way that have done a book, and it was just like do a book. But I'm like, I'm more talk. I'm more in your face. I'm more personality. I don't like writing. Like, my education wasn't great, so my writing isn't that good and so forth. So I ran away from it. And the good thing about this life is if you meet the right people, things can get done. Sometimes what's stopping you getting to where you want to get to is the fact you don't know anybody there.
Yeah.
You ain't got the connector.
Yeah.
So the reason I say that is that I then decided I want to try and do this book. I had to write a proposal.
Yeah.
The proposal got rejected, whatever. I just said, forget it. Doing content, this guy, Oscar, is a literary agent, and he messages me like, I love your videos. Love it. I laugh so hard. I love it. I love the way I've never seen anyone talk about finance the way you talk about it. Have you thought about doing the book? I said, I tried doing a book, but my proposal got rejected and so forth. He's like, let me see your proposal. So sees the proposal, is like, this ain't gonna work. He knows as a literary agent what publishers want because he gets book deals every single day. Sometimes what we're trying to do stuff. There are people that do this all the time.
Yeah,
it's like I always say with financial advisors: if you have a health issue, you go to a doctor. If you have a car issue, you go to a mechanic. If you have a financial issue, you ask my man down at the pub like what investment you're doing, or you ask your auntie, or you might even ask somebody that owes you money what to do with investing. Like, what do you think I should invest in?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, actually, there are people that do this every single day, and that's who we should be focusing on. So for me, it was like actually link up with Oscar. He changed the proposal, told me what to write, what to do. Boom, we get a book deal like that. Paid.
Wow. Somebody
paid me money. You know what?
That's crazy.
The money became a pressure because now I have no excuse no more. Like, I haven't got time. No, they've paid you. Now you've got the time.
Yeah.
You can say no to this deal. You can say no to that to make the time to get this done. And then I linked up with my boy Timmy, Mr. Money Jar, who we've known each other a while, and I was just like, if there's the good thing about Timmy is that he's extremely intelligent. Gone to Warwick University, extremely intelligent, but at the same time he's from the hood, so he will understand the balance. And so I just literally voice noted the whole thing. I just voice noted my book, and the thing I love
noted the whole thing. That's wow. Wow.
We just broke it down to chapters. I voice noted it, and it just gave it to him, and he just made my words.
That's
made it
crazy.
All make sense. And so, wow, the maddest part is that people read my book and they're like, I feel like you're talking to me. And I'm like, of course I'm talking to you. I spoke the book. I didn't I spoke it.
I spoke it. I know what I'm talking about.
Like, you know what I mean? I spoke
Yeah.
the book. Do you know what I mean? And so the biggest thing I realize is that you don't have to worry about the things that you're not good at.
Yeah.
You can pay people for the things you're not good at. Focus on what you are good at.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, a bar of gold can be used as a doorstop, and it will do the job.
Yeah.
But also it can be used to, you know, make you a lot of money.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's about understanding that sometimes we have what we need. We're just not using it in the right way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
100%.
so collaboration is key, especially for us as we're moving into spaces that we haven't been before. Don't always feel like I need to have 100% of the limelight. I need to write this book so I can tell everybody I wrote this book, like, and then end up not getting the message out there, or end up not doing it because you don't have the capability.
Yeah.
I'm very proud to be able to say, you know, I worked with an amazing writer in Timmy, who I recommend to people who want to write books all the time, and say, look, I worked with him, and, you know, we worked really well together, and we produced an amazing book. It's called Get Your Money Right. It teaches people all the way from the beginning, like how the system works, how the financial system works, you know, financial education in schools. Then it teaches you all the different things from borrowing, budgeting, savings, investing, all the way through to inheritance tax, you know, all the way to philanthropy. So if you're a real baller, philanthropy. So it's a guide.
That's amazing.
All the way from having nothing to having everything, you know what I mean? And what you can do. And the whole point of the book is that you can pick up the book at whatever stage you are on the financial journey, and there's a chapter for you that you can get the knowledge on. Because there's so much information online. It's like, who do I trust? So I said, let me write this down. What do people ask me all the time? Let me write it down so you know you have a place where you can start. So when you go online, you can cross-reference, is this really right? Is this really the right thing for me? And so forth. And then in every chapter, I've given them an example.
Okay.
So there's a story basically that explains what I've taught you, explains you how you can utilize it and use it in the real world. So
I love that,
to make it down to earth. And the reviews have been amazing. And the best part is that I had a dad who said he read it. He doesn't really like books, but he read it in 24 hours.
Wow.
Because he enjoyed it so much. He gave it to his wife, and his wife's reading it. And when he finishes, he's like, because the language is so simple, down to earth, he's going to give it to his kids and get his kids.
And that's it. And this is what it will become. It will become like a generational. It could become like the next Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Exactly.
Basically on that kind of level. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
And it's a book for the whole family. It doesn't have to. How many books can you say you can give to you know, an adult in their 60s and still give it to a child in their teenage years, and they can read the same book and get value from it. And that's what we're really trying to do.
Yeah, congratulations, man. That's amazing. I've got it, man. I ordered it.
Yeah,
I have it. I'm gonna be reading that very soon. In fact, I'm gonna take it with me on my honeymoon. So.
Oh,
yeah, man. Yeah. I have to, man. I have to support it because I was like, this is amazing. The only thing I missed the book signing. That was my fault. But yeah. The next one, when you do like a second edition, let me know.
Yeah, I will do.
The reception's been great though. Like I've seen that you've been charting as well. How did you feel about that? Like when that happened? Yeah,
it was very humbling. You know, how many of us have used Amazon in our life? Do you know what I mean? I'm on there every day. So to imagine to be a bestseller on Amazon, like your book to be, you know, getting wonderful reviews and people buying it and talking about how good it is, it's been amazing. So for me, you know, it's a humbling experience, especially as I never really did that great at school, never felt like I was, you know, great in education, and now I have a book educating, you know, the nation on how to be better with their finances. Yeah,
man, it's amazing, man. I hope it keeps on selling more.
Yeah, man.
You know, I'll push it. After I finished it, I'm gonna give it to my. I mean, she reads like quick. She'll probably finish it like a couple hours. Like that's how quick. Like she reads like mad quick. So yeah, what do you have planned next for yourself?
Bro, it's non-stop, man. It's non-stop. Like, there's so much happening. You know, I've got a financial advice firm, Belvedere Group. So we've got our own financial advice firm that's regulated. You know, me and Bricks of Tips are going to be having our own mortgage firm.
Okay, wow. Coming up. Okay, so you got obviously your company right now.
Yep.
The E-Manifest, I'm going to call it. And then, so you got the financial advising company.
Yep.
And that's a bit more affordable, right?
Yeah,
People
yeah,
can-
exactly.
Okay,
So
cool.
it's allowing, and we don't have the high demands of a typical firm
Yeah.
to become a client. So we really want to try and encourage wealth and encourage people to be able to get financial advice that's more affordable.
Yeah.
So we got that.
And then the mortgage.
Mortgage.
Wow. How many streams is this? We're talking like 5, 6?
So we got that. So yeah,
Mad.
Then I've got another book coming out next year. So
Okay, you actually do. I was actually joking. No, I wasn't joking. I'm being serious, but you actually got another one. Mad.
So I got another book coming out next year. It's
Okay.
a kids book. So teaching
that
kids
makes
about
sense.
finance and money. So that's coming out next year.
Yeah.
But we're writing that now. So it's non-stop. Then obviously loads of talks. I'm blessed to be the ambassador for Barclays for 2023.
Wow.
So I got an ambassador deal with them, which is huge.
Yeah.
So like, you're gonna be seeing me do loads of campaigns with them, loads of content for them, loads of stuff for Barclays. So that's amazing to go from a cashier to now be,
can you imagine,
the ambassador for 2020.
That's literally like sums up this episode, right? This sums up this episode, isn't it?
It's mad.
It's crazy.
It's mad. It's like,
and it just shows you, like, because you had to believe in yourself, right? If you didn't believe in yourself and you're like, you know what, I'm not good enough to do this, right?
Yeah.
And coming from the environment that you came from, you could have maybe, I feel like, I mean, you didn't explicitly say it, but clearly your parents instilled that belief in you, right? For you to be able to go to where you got to, right?
Yeah, exactly. They instilled it. They're I am so inspired by them, and like now becoming a parent, I think, wow, these guys are really hiding stuff from us. Because as kids, like, you don't realize what your parents are going through. Like, so my kids don't have a clue. The conversations me and my wife have, but then the conversations we have are nothing compared to what our parents must have been going through when they had hardly anything. They're struggling to find food. I know my mum skipped meals and just ate whatever was available, and do you know what I mean, drink tea and go to sleep, and it's just so we could have, do you know what I mean? So for me, like, that's inspirational. Like, so for me, I know why I do what I do, and I continue to represent them the best way I can. So so there's so much happening, and for me, it's just about the impact. Everything is about legacy. People are like, oh, why do you do what you do? I've already won. Coming from where I'm come from to be where I am today, I've already won. The game is complete. Everything else is a bonus. And so for me, I'm just enjoying this time, making memories, inspiring the next. I want to see more me's all over the place. More people doing stuff and be like, well, we can't book Emmanuel because he's too busy, but we want to look for the next person and let them see that actually, you know what, we don't need to have just people from middle class backgrounds and wearing suits and ties to talk about finance. Actually, finance can be cool, finance can be fun, finance can be entertaining, and we need more real life people with real life stories that have been through it, sharing it and teaching us and educating us. And for me, I want to make sure that, like I said, this generation, like in primary school now, secondary school now, the same way I grew up on Martin Lewis, I want them to grow up on me.
Love that. And I think, bro, that's gonna happen. That's definitely gonna happen.
At
the rate you're going, I can see it happening, bro. Like, this has been an amazing conversation, man. I feel like so inspired hearing your story, the lows, being in the hood. The thing is, I can relate. So everything you're saying, I understand it. Yeah, I'm saying, but I also can relate from the perspective of, okay, you know where you were, you've gotten to a certain stage, but you can actually appreciate that, actually want to actually help more people get out of it. Like, I think it's a really important thing. And, you're humble. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, right, you have to be humble to want to do something like that. Because a lot of people, especially, they get to a certain stage, they're like, you know what, I'm out of the hood, I'm not even helping anybody. Like, I'm out of mind, out of sight.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? But you actually help. So I really love that about you. Where can people find you?
So the E-Man Effect on the E-Man Effect UK is the app that's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. LinkedIn is Emmanuel Asuquo. So my main platforms are Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok. Those are probably the ones that are most active. But I've got the website www.emmanuelasuquo.com. And we're here. And then I'm gonna be on your TV as well. So just tune in, man. We're everywhere.
Amazing. Do you have any final words for listeners and watchers?
You know what? I just want to say thank you to you for creating this platform. I see your consistency. Like, I get invited to do podcasts all the time, but when I got the invite from you, I was like, no, I've got you, because Like, as long as I've known you've done this and done it consistently and done it at high quality, and people don't realize, like, you're listening to a podcast, this costs, it's not free. Like, so
not free.
someone's listening for free, but you've paid to get it done. Do you know what I mean? And so it's like, it's really important to understand the effort and energy that people put into it. And so, like, I appreciate you for creating the platform and, you know, for having me on and taking all the time, because I get to do the easy part, just come and talk. Like, you had to book all this and make sure everything's there and ready, and I appreciate it. But, you know, big up you and all that you're doing, and, you know, all that you represent. And, like, you lot is the next generation of guys coming through, you know, with new styles, new energies, and it's great. You know what I mean? So I'm just proud. Like, I just sit at this point and just proud to see people like yourself, CK, all these other people just doing it. Do you know what I mean? You know, and, you know, it's like, actually, I feel like we're in safe hands.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, like, just keep going, and, you know, big you up, man.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, as I said, amazing conversation. Watchers, listeners, I hope that you've enjoyed this episode of Take Off Experience. Appreciate you listening. We'll see you in next week's episode.